Hello, Tanny here from myslip.com with a question and answer from one of our designers about how to use the open back leotard for a catsuit. And that had me thinking of creative ways we could do this, aside from just combining the blocks together. So I have two versions for you here. One is going to be a little bit heavier on the pattern drafting. And the second is just going to require playing with the tools because they're set up not to do this, but it's a way that we can hack the tools to get what we want. So this is version 1. So this is our open back leotard. You can see on my Clo model. And then here is our leg piece. So obviously this is a different look than your typical catsuit because we have the leg piece that's attaching to the leg hole. And essentially this is gonna work exactly like the attaching a sleeve, but instead of your arm, you are attaching it to your leg. Caveat here, it does require some playing around. So let's hop into DD. Okay, we are going to hop in to Adobe Illustrator. Here are my pattern pieces. So I don't have the leg hole lengths set up in the integration key, but I definitely can. So for right now, you'll either have to use Adobe Illustrator to get these values, or you'll have to print and then just use a string and a soft tape measure. So I'm just going to demonstrate here. My front leg hole length is 22.56, and then my back is 32.74. And then I'm going to use the sleeve expansion pack, actually. So what I did here is, for now, I just put Missy Curvy, but that is relevant. So I picked centimeters because that's what the unit of measurement I'm using. So I'm using full length sleeve, regular sleeve. I guess technically, if you want to make shorts and you don't want to manually do it, you can go 3/4 elbow short or cap sleeve, but I think that might, it's going to be less accurate. So I put in for the front arm side, I put the front leg hole seam length. And then for the back arm side, I put the back seam length. So this guy over here. Okay, and then for the wrist circumference, this is going to, let's start with bicep. Bicep is going to be our mid-thigh measurement. And then arm length is going to be essentially from waist to knee. From waist to knee. No, sorry. From hip to knee. Hold on, let me think this through. Waist. Oh, you know what? That's incorrect too. This would be your hip. So this is gonna take some. So let's say we have our waist to knee measurement. Let's say it's 58. So this is actually a very important detail. Okay, so 58. So this is waist to knee. And let's say we are going to have our leg hole start here. So we're going to intersect these two lines. I'm going to split this line, and then I'm just going to take the measurement here, which is 45.56. If we want our leg hole to be, depending on, you take that measurement on your own, like waist to knee, and then you can put the length of the arm length. I'm trying to think if that would be as accurate. No, you would do 48.56. So we have our waist to knee. We're going to cut it at the leg hole. And then we're going to take this measurement. And then we technically put 48 for here. And then for wrist circumference, this would be our knee measurement. And then I guess you could, if you want to make it a shorter, we're hacking the tools here, a shorter length, so like a short, let's just see here. Yeah. You could play around with the length using these options here. So short sleeve, that'd be like a shorty short. You get the gist. Okay, important to note here. So let's go back to the full, or you could do full length and then you can cut it how you want. And I put 0 for the seam allowance. Okay, important to note here. So this is where you need to play around with it because we need to make sure that the front arm side and the back arm side, which is really our leg hole lengths, are going to be able to accommodate our thigh measurement. So for example, let me put in 30. Let me show you file, open, recent file. Okay. That's not that one. 100. Okay, let me show you with the length being 19.22 because we're gonna get, it's an error. 19.22, 25.37. And then we're gonna set the gusset to 5. Oh, that's the, never mind, ignore that part. I'm gonna generate. We're gonna see we get this error here. The sleeve bicep width was automatically reduced because it was too large relative to the front and back arm side lengths. So if I download this and open it, leg test. Okay, let's just open this in Adobe Illustrator. I'll open recent. Oh, open leg test. Okay, so our mid thigh 45 times 0.88 minus is 39.6. 39.6. Okay, that's fine. Oh, it ended up being okay. Hold on. 19.22, 44.59. We just need to make sure that this is 44.59, which it's off by a bit. Okay. It's off by a bit. It's not bad. Okay, I was going to propose a solution. But okay, so this ended up working like pretty accurately. I guess you can like play around or like slightly, but it's 44.59. We're off 44.65, and then this is actually pretty accurate with the negative E, so 9.6. I hope that part's making sense. All that to say is if we want to correct this error and make it perfect, we can raise the leg hole to get more length in the leg hole to accommodate for the thigh. So, let me summarize. If you got a thick thigh and the leg hole does not have enough length, what you'll end up with is, let's do something like 18 and 20. You're going to end up with a flat line. That's what's going to happen because we're raising and lower the sleeve cap basically to fit into the leg hole. So if that does happen, you can go into the open back sloper or any of the leotard patterns and you could actually raise the leg hole if you wanted to. So I do -10 and it raises it -10. It raises it 10%. You can play with that until it breaks basically. And then you could also adjust your gusset. I set this at 5, so that kind of, yeah. So all that to say is you want the lengths to match. So where are we? -10? Okay, so actually no, I was using this. So 44.59, we need these lengths to match, but it's a little bit off because the tool's trying to accommodate because there wasn't enough length, but essentially we need this to match so it fits like a puzzle piece. So that is solution number 1, and this is what it ends up looking like. So we see our leg hole here, and then we are fitting in our sleeve piece, but it's really a leg piece. So option number 2, I'm gonna zoom out my Chloe model so she's not naked on screen. Archive. Option number 2 is a little bit more heavy in the pattern drafting. So this is full catsuit. You can obviously adjust the legs as needed. I mean, the same thing here. So we could adjust the length of you can make it go past the knee if you wish, but you would need to do some pattern drafting. So let's say this is the knee, and then let's say your waist to floor is here. And then you would put your ankle, and your ankle is, let's say, 18 centimeters. You can draft past the knee, but you would have to do this manually. Or if it fits, you could play around with it. But I hope that makes sense too. So this would be our ankle. This would be from the waist to knee minus that difference that I showed you. Okay, so let's do the catsuit. DDD. I have a ton of Adobe Illustrator. Oh, not that. Okay, so drafting for a size 6. This is gonna take some pattern drafting. So I'm gonna show you really quick, hopefully really quick, what I did here. So I'm combining my Leo, and I'm taking the waist up pieces of our Leo and combining it with the legging block. So we got our waist up. Oh, it would help if I copied everything. Okay. Waist up. You know what? We're just going to delete this leg hole. And then we're going to just get rid of this curve here really quickly. Okay, you get the gist of it. This is our waist here. Okay, so let's start with our front piece. So if we want to eliminate that center front seam, I'm going to take my legging block and my front piece. So remember, our front Leo piece is cut at the waist. We are going to mirror this guy, because remember, this is our center front and this is our center front. So transform, reflects. Okay. And then we're just going to do some light pattern adjustments here to get rid of that center front seam. We do lose some length, so it's not super accurate, but it's pretty close to our front crotch length. So I'm going to draw a straight line here. I'm going to pull out this, oh my gosh. I'm going to pull out this straight line. And then we're just going to match. We are going to match things up. So let me pull my legging block down. It would help if I did this without overlapping the pieces. Okay, let me just pull this here. I'm going to change the color. All right. I'm going to pull this guy down. I'm going to draw a straight line here so I can just line up my pieces. Let's do And then we're gonna line this guy up. So we're gonna rotate our legging piece. So we have our straight line here, and then we're gonna just pull in our Leo, and then we're gonna match up the corner here. This is to eliminate that front seam. So we are losing some length. And then we're just gonna true it out. Now we're gonna need to make sure that when we're doing our final, here, let me make this thicker. When we're doing our final truing out our pattern piece, that we are just ensuring that the side seams match our front and back panel. So when I trace this guy out completely, we're left with this one piece, and then we would cut on the fold. So we would cut here. Oh my gosh. We'd cut on the fold here. Okay, so that's our front piece. And then we would measure this side seam with our back side seam to make sure that they fit together. So let's do the same thing, similar thing to our back piece. But we're gonna do some pattern cutting here. So this is our front piece, or sorry, this is our back piece. We're gonna rotate close this dart. Let me rotate it at the correct location. Okay, so we're rotating this closed, and then I'm going to just true out these hard angles. Okay, so this is this side seam on our back panel. We're gonna need to make sure that we match it to the side seam on our front panel. Okay, and then I'm going to take our back piece here. So we cut it at the waist, right? And we're just going to throw this guy on top. And then true out any seams if we need to. So smooth it out. And then smooth out that front panel. So when we trace everything off, we're gonna get this funky shape. So we're cutting out two pieces, and we're gonna have a back seam. There is a way that we can also eliminate the back seam, but then we're going to have the gaping. So we have the gape fixed because it's an open back. So I'm not going to get into how we can also eliminate the center back seam, because we're going to need it because we have the gape fixed, right? So if we go into Clo, this is what we're looking at. Open back, and then if you need to cut off a leg or cut into it, you're gonna have to do some pattern cutting. I didn't true the side seams, but yeah, so I would basically, this isn't close, so if you were to do this, in Adobe Illustrator, you would just need to cut your lines. I don't know if you could hear that. It's my Frenchie snoring. Okay. Sorry, this is like tedious watching me convert. Get rid of all these points here. Convert, maintain curve. Okay, so we have 114.09, 111.31. So I can take off. It's really easy and close. So you would need to do this in Adobe Illustrator, or you would do it what was it, 113? And I could just at the end. Oh, I should have eliminated these. Hold on. You could split the difference between the two pieces, so it's not as dramatic on what was it, 111.13. So now we're trued. So this will fit with this, and we didn't do anything to the inseam, so that should be fine. So that shows you the two ways that you can combine the open back leotard with the legging block, or use the sleeve expansion pack to create some leg holes, leg sleeves. Any questions, please leave them down below.